Hi, this is Patrick from Grove Street Auto Repair, and today for our Meet the Tool series, I'm going to show you how to jump start a vehicle with a dead battery. With the current events we have going on, you may not have driven your vehicle for a lengthy period of time. If that's the case and you haven't started your vehicle in 6 to 8 weeks, you might experience a dead battery. Even with the ignition off, vehicles will still draw a small amount of voltage to maintain the memory in certain modules within your car. Alright, let's get to it. Let's make sure to remove the keys from the ignition first. These are jumper cables. There is a red for the positive and a black for the negative. There's a clamp on each end. All battery terminals are also marked with a plus and a minus sign. Plus red is positive, black negative, the negative sign. So now we're going to show you how to hook them up. You want to make sure you pull the vehicles up nose to nose if you can, and to make sure that the jumper cables are going to reach from battery to battery. If you can't find out where the battery is, you can always look in the owner's manual. Okay, so the first step is you're going to connect the positive lead of your jumper cables to the positive terminal on the dead battery. So this is our dead vehicle right here. Red to positive. It says positive on there. It's got the plus sign. So does the terminal on this battery. Okay. You want to make sure that you're running your jumper cables down to the side of the vehicle so that you don't touch any hot components of the vehicle. Usually a plastic red marker. If not, the cables are red for the positive. Sometimes there's a black cover on the negative side that indicates the negative side, and a black cable. Okay, so we're going to put this one, drop it down here, grab the other end, and we're going to hook the positive to the live battery. Again, red cable, marked positive, as are the jumper cables. Now we're going to hook the negative on the live battery to the negative side of the battery, again with the negative sign and the black cable. Now at this point you want to make sure this end of the jumper cable does not touch, because there's power coming out of that battery going into this battery when we hook it up. So we're not going to hook up the black jumper cable lead to the negative just yet. We're not going to hook it up to the battery, because when the battery goes dead, a lot of gases come out of the battery and they kind of sitting around the top of the battery. And if you create a spark in that area, it could make an explosion. So what we're going to do is find out what's called the ground on the motor. So we're going to look around, try and go as far as we can. Here's a nice big metal bolt coming up out of the motor mount. We're going to hook it up there. Okay, now that the cables are hooked up on both sides, we're going to make sure that the routing of the cables doesn't affect the belts or any fan area in here. And the same thing on this side. We're going to run it to the side a little bit. The next step is to start the vehicle, the live vehicle. So I'm going to come over here and start this one. So now that this vehicle is running, the alternator is supplying electricity and pushing it through to the battery on this vehicle. Even though it's not directly hooked to the battery, it's still making the circuit. Now we're going to let this run for a few minutes. The best option is to turn all the options that you have, the accessories, the air conditioning, the headlights, the wipers. If you're trying to jump start a car, you don't want to be using a lot of the battery power in the good battery, because you're going to need that to jump start the bad battery. So we're going to let this run for a couple minutes, and then we're going to try and start this car. So now that we've got both vehicles running, we're going to reverse the connection process. So the first thing you want to do is take off the negative lead off the dead battery vehicle. And remember, do not let it touch the positive. Hang it down. We're going to come over here, and we're going to take the negative off this side. Then we're going to take the positive off of the good battery. And again, do not let them touch. And then we're going to take the positive off this battery. Make sure you put the covers back on so no metal contacts the top of the battery. And now your car is jump started. If it has been sitting for a while, you should give it a good 20 or 30 minute ride. And that will enable the alternator to put a good charge back into the battery for the next time you need to go use it. If you go on a 20 or 30 minute ride and you come home and try and start it and it doesn't start, you may have other issues, and at that point you might want to have it, either us or your mechanic check out the starting and charging system, do an inspection on it, because there might be another issue with draw or something like that, or the battery may just be too old, and sometimes a rundown battery, if it's 4 or 5 years old, a jump start won't recover it. You might have to get a new battery. Thanks for watching, and be on the lookout for our next Meet the Tools.